There are secrets so ancient and profound that they've remained hidden for centuries, buried under layers of history and beliefs, waiting for the right moment to come to light. Imagine a piece of knowledge so important that it was intentionally removed from sacred texts, an ancient teaching that might have been part of early Christianity, but was later suppressed and buried by decisions made long ago. What if I told you that the idea of reincarnation, the belief that our soul lives many lives, might have once been included in the Bible itself? Today, we will explore the hidden corners of history, revisit ancient writings, and uncover the choices that shaped Christian teachings as we know them. Could it be possible that such a powerful truth, a belief found in many cultures and spiritual traditions, was purposely silenced? Open your heart and mind and join me as we uncover the mystery. Was reincarnation once a part of the Bible? The idea of reincarnation in ancient times. To understand how reincarnation might have been connected to early Christianity, we first need to travel back in time and visit ancient civilizations. Long before Christ walked the earth, the idea of reincarnation was already embraced by many cultures. It echoed through temples, influenced wise thinkers, and was part of secret spiritual practices. In ancient Egypt, under the watchful gaze of the pyramids, the priests guarded the mystery of the soul's journey. For them, death wasn't an end, but a transition, a passage to another stage of existence. The Book of the Dead, a sacred collection of Egyptian texts, describes how the soul travels and is judged. It tells of a process where the soul could be reborn into a new life or remain in a spiritual realm. To the Egyptians, the soul was like a traveler, returning as many times as necessary to reach balance and harmony. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, along the sacred Ganges River in India, another vision of reincarnation took shape. The Vedic texts, written around 1500 BCE, introduced the concept of samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. According to these ancient Hindu teachings, the cycle continues until the soul frees itself from worldly attachments and reaches moksha, or eternal liberation. The belief was simple, yet profound. The actions of one life, karma, shape the experiences of the next, creating a journey of learning that ends in enlightenment. In ancient Greece, the idea of reincarnation was also a key part of philosophy. Pythagoras, the renowned philosopher and mathematician, taught that the soul is immortal and goes through many lives. Each life, he believed, was a chance for growth and learning. Pythagoras saw the universe as having a divine order, and reincarnation was the process through which the soul ascended to perfection. He believed the soul would keep entering new bodies until it was completely purified. Plato, another great thinker of Greece, shared similar ideas. In his work, Phaedo, he recounts Socrates' belief in the journey of the soul through multiple lives. Socrates taught that pure souls ascend to higher spiritual realms, while those needing more lessons return to earth. Across these traditions, reincarnation wasn't just a spiritual belief. It was seen as a way for the soul to grow and improve. Each life was considered an opportunity to learn and advance, a new chapter in the soul's journey toward perfection. With so many cultures embracing reincarnation as part of life's natural cycle, a question arises. How did Christianity, at least in its modern form, come to reject this idea? Or did it once accept reincarnation as part of its teachings? Let's explore further to uncover the truth. Early Christianity and reincarnation. In the centuries following Christ's death, Christianity was not the organized religion we know today. There was no unified structure, no official Bible, and no central authority setting strict rules. Instead, each community had its own understanding of Jesus' teachings, and people were deeply focused on answering big spiritual and existential questions. As Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire and grew as a new faith, its early followers had a more flexible way of thinking compared to the rigid doctrines that would later shape the church. These early Christians were open to exploring universal truths, and their beliefs often extended beyond the idea of a single lifetime. During this time, the soul was seen as eternal, not limited to just one physical existence. The focus wasn't just on the current life, but on the soul's larger journey through time. Many early Christians believed that after death, the soul could return to earth in a new form, continuing a process of spiritual growth and purification. One of the most notable figures from this period was Origen of Alexandria. He was not only a theologian, but also a mystical philosopher who was deeply influenced by the spiritual traditions of Egypt, Greece, and the Middle East. Origen believed that the soul was eternal and went through cycles of life and death, evolving and learning over time. In his major work, De Principiis, On the Principles, Origen wrote about his belief that after leaving the body, the soul would return to earth in another form. This process would continue until the soul achieved complete purification. He saw reincarnation as a journey of spiritual evolution, an opportunity for the soul to grow and refine itself until it reached unity with the divine. For Origen, reincarnation wasn't a punishment, but a chance to learn and improve. Life's experiences, he believed, helped the soul to become wiser and more connected to eternal truth. He famously said, "Each soul comes into the world strengthened by the victories or weakened by the defeats of previous lives." This idea suggests that the choices and actions of one life could influence the experiences of future lives, a concept that aligns with the idea of cosmic justice found in many ancient spiritual traditions. According to Origen, reincarnation was not something foreign to Christianity. In fact, he believed it fit perfectly with the themes of redemption and purification that Christ taught. To Origen, the soul's journey through multiple lifetimes was a reflection of eternity. Who better to understand the infinite than a soul that had already experienced life across many cycles? For him, reincarnation was a path toward divine understanding and spiritual perfection. The Council of Constantinople and the rejection of reincarnation. In Christianity's early centuries, the religion was still taking shape, blending different spiritual and philosophical ideas from ancient traditions. Among the topics discussed in early Christian writings was reincarnation. While not universally accepted, it was a concept that intrigued many. But everything changed in the 6th century with a pivotal event. The Council of Constantinople, a powerful assembly of religious leaders, made a decision that forever altered Christian teachings. This council marked the moment when reincarnation was officially rejected as part of Christian doctrine. However, this decision was not just about faith, it was also heavily influenced by politics. The effort to ban reincarnation was driven by Emperor Justinian and his wife, Empress Theodora. Together, they aimed to remove the belief in multiple lives and the idea of spiritual evolution beyond a single lifetime. Justinian was determined to unify Christianity under one set of rules. For him, controlling religious teachings wasn't just about faith, it was essential for maintaining order in his empire. Reincarnation, with its focus on personal spiritual growth across lifetimes, was a challenge to the Church's authority, which sought to control how people understood their soul's salvation. With Theodora's support, Justinian called for the Second Council of Constantinople in 553 AD. This gathering of bishops and theologians became a turning point. Backed by religious leaders who were closely aligned with imperial power, Justinian used the council to enforce a single, uniform doctrine. The council included representatives from across the Christian world, particularly from the Eastern Church, but also some from the West. Key figures included Patriarch Eutychius of Constantinople, who presided over the meeting, and Bishop Vigilius of Rome, who initially resisted some decisions but ultimately gave in to pressure from the emperor. Why reincarnation was rejected. The rejection of reincarnation was not purely about theology. Reincarnation carried a powerful message. It suggested that each soul could evolve through its own efforts across many lifetimes, eventually achieving the purity needed to unite with the divine. This idea made the soul less dependent on a single religious institution to guide its salvation. If people believed they had multiple lifetimes to grow spiritually, the Church's role as the sole mediator of salvation could be questioned. On the other hand, teaching that there was only one life to secure salvation created a sense of urgency to follow Church rituals and teachings. This reinforced the Church's authority and ensured its central role in people's spiritual lives. Justinian recognized that a unified church, under strict doctrine, would also strengthen his empire. By eliminating the belief in reincarnation, he emphasized the need for immediate salvation and obedience to church leaders. The role of Theodora. Empress Theodora also played a significant role in the exclusion of reincarnation. Before becoming empress, she had lived a life of poverty and faced social stigma as an actress and prostitute. These experiences gave her a deep fear of being reborn into similar hardships in a future life. This personal fear, combined with Justinian's political ambitions, supported the push to remove reincarnation from Christian teachings. Theodora and Justinian promoted the idea that each person only had one life to determine the destiny of their soul. This belief aligned with their goal of solidifying the Church's power and eliminating competing ideas about spiritual evolution. The official ban on reincarnation. Under Justinian's orders, reincarnation was officially declared heretical. The political pressure at the council was so intense that even those who disagreed eventually conformed, either out of fear or practicality. As a result, the teachings of Origen, a prominent early Christian thinker who supported reincarnation, were condemned. Origen was labeled a heretic, and his ideas were deemed incompatible with official Christian doctrine. A document listing the anathemas, curses, against Origen formally banned reincarnation from Christianity. Those who continued to support Origen's ideas faced excommunication and isolation. This marked the end of reincarnation as an accepted belief within the Church, ensuring it would remain outside official Christian teachings for centuries to come. Biblical passages suggesting reincarnation. For many people, the Bible is seen as the unchanging Word of God. But could it hold hidden clues to a truth that has been overshadowed or altered over time? Could reincarnation have been an essential part of early Christian teachings, later removed by church authorities? In various parts of the Bible, there are verses that hint at the soul's return to earth, verses that have often been reinterpreted or downplayed to fit with official doctrines. Elijah and John the Baptist. One of the most commonly discussed examples is found in Matthew 17:10 through 13. After Jesus' transfiguration, the disciples ask him about the prophecy that Elijah would return before the arrival of the Messiah. Jesus responds by saying that Elijah has already come, and he identifies Elijah as John the Baptist. This response is mysterious but powerful. It suggests that John the Baptist was the reincarnation of Elijah, fulfilling the ancient prophecy by preparing the way for Christ. For early Christians, this would have been a straightforward idea. Reincarnation was part of the spiritual understanding of the time. Jesus doesn't explain it further, as if this concept was already familiar to his followers. The man born blind. Another fascinating passage appears in John 9:1-25. Here, the disciples see a man who was born blind and ask Jesus, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" This question is striking because it implies the disciples believed that the man could have sinned in a previous life. If reincarnation were a completely foreign concept, their question wouldn't make sense. It reflects their understanding that a soul could carry actions and experiences from earlier lives, potentially influencing its current existence. Interestingly, Jesus doesn't dismiss their question or correct their thinking. Instead, he shifts the focus, explaining that the man's blindness isn't due to sin, but is an opportunity for God's works to be revealed. This exchange seems to acknowledge the possibility of a soul's history while pointing to a deeper spiritual purpose. Being born again. In John 3:3-7, Jesus speaks to Nicodemus, saying, "Truly, I say to you, unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God." Nicodemus, confused, asks how this could happen. Can a man return to his mother's womb? He wonders. Jesus clarifies that he is speaking of a spiritual rebirth, not a physical one. This idea of being born again could symbolize a spiritual renewal. However, some scholars suggest it may also hint at a cycle of rebirths through different lives, where the soul grows and purifies itself. Nicodemus, being a religious leader, understood that Jesus was talking about something deeply spiritual, not a literal return to the womb. The message was about transformation and progress. When Jesus speaks of rebirth as the key to spiritual growth, this idea could align with the concept of reincarnation, where each life is a chance for the soul to learn and evolve. These passages suggest that reincarnation might not have been entirely foreign to early Christian thought. While interpretations have changed over time, the Bible contains verses that could support the idea of a soul's journey through multiple lives, learning, growing, and moving closer to divine understanding. The role of reincarnation in modern spirituality. Although reincarnation has been suppressed in many Western traditions, it has made a strong comeback in modern spirituality. This idea offers people a way to find meaning and purpose, especially as they try to understand the deeper questions of life and existence. In today's fast-moving world, where success and instant results often take priority over personal growth, the belief in multiple lives provides a more patient and compassionate outlook. It suggests a journey of continuous learning and soul evolution, helping people focus on their inner development. For modern spirituality, reincarnation isn't just about what happens after death. It's a lens through which we can view human experiences. Every life is seen as a fresh opportunity to grow, learn, and purify the soul, bringing us closer to our true selves. Unlike the Christian doctrine that focuses on salvation within a single lifetime, reincarnation offers a kinder perspective, moving away from the fear of eternal punishment or reward. Instead, it encourages understanding that growth takes time and happens over many lifetimes. Eastern influence on Western thought. The concept of reincarnation became widely known in the West through exposure to Eastern philosophies, especially Hinduism and Buddhism, where reincarnation is a core belief. Thinkers like Alan Watts, spiritual leaders like the Dalai Lama, and teachers like Swami Vivekananda brought these ideas to Western audiences. They explained that the cycle of birth and rebirth is part of a greater process of self-awareness and liberation. In these traditions, the idea of karma, that our actions shape both our current and future lives, encourages people to live with responsibility and awareness. Karma also teaches the interconnectedness of all beings, fostering compassion and understanding. Over time, these ideas found an audience in the West. What once seemed exotic became a foundation for deeper reflection on the meaning of life and the journey of the soul. Reincarnation in modern psychology. Beyond philosophy, reincarnation has also gained attention in the field of modern psychology. Researchers like Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist and professor at the University of Virginia, spent decades studying children who claim to remember details of past lives. In many cases, these children shared specific information, names, places, and events, that could later be verified. Such studies have provided intriguing evidence that suggests reincarnation could be more than just an abstract idea. Additionally, past life regression therapy, popularized by therapists like Brian Weiss, has shown how revisiting past life memories can help people heal emotional wounds, phobias, and traumas that seem to have no clear origin in their current life. This practice explores the idea that unresolved experiences from past lives might still influence our present mental and emotional state. In the field of transpersonal psychology, reincarnation is studied not just as a philosophical belief, but as a possibility that past life experiences, whether remembered or unconscious, can shape a person's current psyche and behavior. Reincarnation's role. Today, reincarnation remains one of the great mysteries of existence. It inspires some, challenges others, and encourages us all to think deeply about the nature of life and the soul. For many, it represents a key to spiritual understanding and ongoing growth, a vision of the soul as a traveler, always seeking its truth across lifetimes. For others, it is a belief that doesn't align with their view of human existence or the teachings of Christianity. Ultimately, reincarnation isn't about blind acceptance or rejection. It invites each of us to look inward, to reflect on what feels true to our own journey, and to find the answers that bring us peace. Whether our soul is part of an eternal cycle of rebirth or a single, unique spark of life, What truly matters is how we live in the present moment. The focus should be on living with purpose, responsibility, compassion, and love. In the end, it is not the destination, but the journey that defines us. Thank you for watching.